posted a poll on my Instagram story and I asked a very serious question. Is Derrick Rose going to be in the Hall of Fame? Here are the results. 80% of my people said yes and 20% of them said no. This shows that a very tiny sample of a population prefers Derrick Rose to have his name immortalized into one of the greatest honors a basketball athlete can receive. Now I know that a simple poll is not going to convince neither you or me in considering whether this man is a potential Hall of Famer or not. Even after the poll, it still had me thinking, can he really be in the Hall of Fame? I've come upon this question several times before and I never had a clear yes or no answer. I had a maybe. I think that the better question to ask is what can make Derrick Rose a potential Hall of Fame inductee? That is why I did a little bit of research, and the first things I considered are his stats and his achievements. But before we get started, I would just like to real quick give a big thank you to you viewers who clicked on this video and are watching. Your viewership is very much appreciated, and I would also appreciate it if you give this video a like if you enjoy it, and that you heavily consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this. Otherwise, Ben Simmons will be shooting a free throw for your mother's life. Thank you. Let's get started. The 32-year-old 6'2" point guard playing in his 12th season was the #1 pick in the 2008 draft out of the University of Memphis. In an impressive rookie season, showcasing his explosive bounce, godlike speed, and elite ability to score around the rim and make plays for others, he was able to average 16.8 points, 6.3 assists, and 3.9 rebounds while shooting an efficient 47.5% from the field. This earned him a spot at First Team All-Rookie and a well-deserved Rookie of the Year award. Fast forward to his third season a couple years later in his young career, this man goes absolutely ballistic. He was going at all NBA superstars next that season, putting the whole basketball world on notice that he is legit. D-Rose was able to put up career highs in points and rebounds, averaging 25 points and 4.1 rebounds per game, along with 7.7 assists. This allowed him to lead the Chicago Bulls into the first seed of the Eastern Conference. They even made a deep playoff run, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the #2 seed Miami Heat, led by LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Unfortunately, D-Rose and the Chicago Bulls did not make it out alive, losing the series 4-1. Despite a disappointing end to the 2011 season, D-Rose was still named to First Team All-NBA. Not only that, he ended up being the unanimous most valuable player of the year at just 22 years of age, the youngest to ever do it. That one right there was probably his most outstanding accomplishment. Several years into his career, D-Rose was already off to a promising start, making a name for himself and showing that he could probably be one of the dominant NBA superstars of the future. So what's next? More MVPs, more All-NBA honors, scoring titles, a championship? Well, the sad truth is that in the following 2012 NBA season, where Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls attempt to make another playoff run and end up finishing at the #1 seed of the Eastern Conference once again, was when his notable NBA awards and accomplishments come to an end. Everybody knows that in the first round of the NBA playoffs, D-Rose suffered the iconic and yet tragic torn ACL injury that caused him to sit out the whole 2013 NBA season the following year. Ever since then, D-Rose was never the same player he was destined to be, as he suffered more and more injuries and was never able to average more than 20 points per game in a regular season. The whole basketball world would never be able to witness the rising NBA star in his prime. So compare him to most Hall of Fame inductees and future potential Hall of Fame caliber players of today. D-Rose is not as decorated with awards and accomplishments. If we were to judge his chances of being inducted into the Hall of Fame solely based on his stats and the underwhelming amount of awards and accomplishments he's had, his chances of making it are slim. However, I was looking through the athletes that have been enshrined into the Hall of Fame, and I found out that stats and awards aren't always everything in determining one's greatness. For instance, let's have a look at these two unknown players' career averages. On one side, you have a player that put up seemingly dookie below average numbers, while the other player has way better numbers in points and rebounds. Well, the player with better career averages is actually Derrick Rose, while the other player is Vlade Divac, who was legit inducted into the Hall of Fame not too long ago. You may be wondering, how is this dude, who puts up way less impressive career averages than players of today, than let's say Hassan Whiteside, a Hall of Famer? Divac certainly did not receive this honor because of his stats, and it's not because of the awards he's earned either. In fact, Divac's awards include him to being named to First Team All-Rookie in 1990 and was selected as an All-Star only once in his career. That was pretty much it. The reason Divac is in the Hall of Fame is because of his contributions to the basketball world. Divac was a star overseas, winning several championships in Europe. Eventually, he would be given the opportunity to showcase his basketball skills as a foreign talent in the biggest and well-known basketball league in the world. Although his stats say otherwise, he was actually a solid player in the NBA. His selection into this league paved way for other international players to enter the scene and make an impact like Divac did. So what does this mean for Derrick Rose? Well, it means that we can put aside his stats and his notable achievements because I consider them irrelevant in determining D Rose's chances of being inducted into the Hall of Fame one day. I now think that the most important thing to consider in a potential Hall of Famer is their impact on the basketball community or the basketball world. And there's no doubt that Derrick Rose has left a mark within this spectrum that will make people remember him for years to come, even after the day he retires. I feel like the day that D-Rose finally decides to hang up his laces and step away from the game, I envision the love and acknowledgement that he's going to receive from both fans and players. Basically, from everybody in the basketball world. Even before he stepped into the scene of the NBA, Derrick Rose was already making a considerable impact on the whole city of Chicago when he was in high school. A lot of basketball prospects were birthed from the city of Chicago, but there was something special about D Rose that people saw in him when he was just a teenager, considering him as the chosen one. As a junior and a senior at his alma mater, Simeon Career Academy High School, D Rose led the school to win back-to-back city and state championships. Current NBA players named Kendrick Nunn and Jabari Parker, who are Chicago natives and went to Simeon High School just like D Rose did, praised him when they were just little. Parker, for instance, has said that D Rose was like a once-in-a-lifetime athlete even to this day. But for me growing up, it was like he was doing things other NBA guys couldn't do. He was just on another level. Even retired NBA player and Chicago native Quentin Richardson had said this about a young Derrick Rose. The word was out on him in the city when he was in middle school. People were talking about him even then, that he was going to be the next one from the city. For Derrick Rose, representing Chicago at the University of Memphis and then being selected in the NBA draft by his hometown team was truly special for the city because he was symbolized as the pride and soul for Chicago, rooting for him whenever he performed on a public national stage. And to this day, no matter what uniform he's playing, whenever D Rose comes back to Chicago, MVP chants roar throughout the United Center.
First free throw for Derrick. I think that was a smile too.
The amount of love for him is just insane. People just have so much love for this man and there's no possible reason to be hating on him at all. For this reason, it wouldn't be out of sympathy that D Rose will receive Hall of Fame honors. It would probably be out of respect that he earns it that way. Looking back at the tragic ACL injury that he suffered early in his career, I can't imagine the mental challenges that he had to persevere. The physical pain and public slander that he faced was probably brutal as well. A lot of guys would have just retired at that point because the emotional burden that you have to carry is just immense. But for D Rose to come back after something like that is just so inspirational and it's something worth admiring. In 2018, ESPN ranked him as the 36th world's most famous athlete, and this shows that Derrick Rose's name echoes towards the other side of the globe. This put him ahead of other famous athletes like Tom Brady and Venus Williams at that time. I mean, for sure, his numbers late into his career aren't as earth-shattering as they used to be, and is now a role player that can serve as a really reliable playmaker and an efficient scorer. In which, by the way, his gameplay with the Knicks in the 2021 NBA season proved that he was a key piece in helping the team make the playoffs, which they haven't done since 2013. Overall, I now have a clear answer after years of doubt that Derrick Rose actually has a high chance of making it into the Hall of Fame. The grind that he had to partake in through the nasty grease and grime of his career is a clear representation of what Chicago is about. His story is something that I can foresee and will be heard and passed on to the next generations. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. More content will be on the way. See you guys until next time, and have a good one, everybody.